sure that they're recognized. I don't believe Major Smith is here, who runs our detention operations, but he's very integral, obviously. Major Fred Brown, who runs our Criminal Justice Bureau. Major. Major Ronnie Silvio, who runs our Patrol Bureau. Major Robert Van Pelt, who runs our Patrol Support Bureau. Major Michael Wong, who runs our Criminal Investigations and Homeland Security Bureau. I'm not sure if Chief Kevin Maples, who runs our Reserve Bureau, is here. Major Edwin Davis, who runs our Community Support Services Bureau. Major Michael O'Brien, who runs our Strategic Planning and Recruiting Bureau. Todd Montefusco, Captain Acting Major, who runs our Office of Inspector General and Professional Education and Training Bureau. Major Armando Tello, Special Assistant to the Sheriff and Special Operations. John Dice, Chief Administrative Officer. Tom Mesa, our Chief Financial Officer. And Ms. Madi Cato, our Human Resources Director. Now, before I get into the FY 2013 operational budget request, I want to briefly discuss a few items that I think are important to go over regarding our current budget. First, we have kept a lid on crime, and our patrol deputies have been able to maintain response times to life-threatening calls within satisfactory levels. And that's irrespective of the fact that Harris County continues to grow. It's irrespective of the fact that from calls for service in 2011 have nearly doubled since 2009. So our patrol deputies are working harder than they've ever had to work before, and they're doing it with their heads high, but they're tired and they're getting burned out. The other point is that the Harris County Jail is no longer overcrowded. Now, it doesn't mean we're not going to be there again, but today we're not. And that is saving the taxpayers money, and we're going to work hard to keep it that way by continuing our work programs, hopefully expanding our electronic monitoring program, and making sure that our crisis intervention response team continues to divert costly mentally ill individuals from ever becoming members of the Harris County Jail system. But as a result of of not being overcrowded, there's also an important point, and that is that there's no Harris County inmates in any other correctional facility outside of Harris County, and that is saving the taxpayers money. Now, the fourth and most important thing is that in this current budget cycle, we've been able to bring an unprecedented $15 million savings to the taxpayers over the 2011 budget. And we've done it irrespective of the obstacles that we had in executing our budget plan. My staff and I have worked hard to protect the taxpayers' pocketbook as much as we've worked hard to protect their communities, and I'm proud of their accomplishments. And this will remain our goal in the coming fiscal year, so long as we're allowed to manage our own budget. As far as our proposed FY 2013 budget request, the single most important point that I want to make is that I am not asking for any more operational funding than what we will have actually used by the end of this fiscal year. I'm asking for a flat operational budget, along with the funding to cover the increase in medical benefits that Commissioners Court voted on earlier or just recently. But aside from that added expense, I'm asking for a flat operational budget. And having said that, I know that what I'm asking for isn't necessarily what the community is asking for. Every day, the community is asking for more. Every day, the community is asking for more visibility in their communities. They're asking for faster response times. They're asking for more guys out in the neighborhoods doing prevention work, being proactive. Every day, I continue to get more calls from the community asking for more. But this budget request that I'm putting before you is a hold the line on spending as much as it will allow us to be a hold the line on crime. My budget will provide for the following goals: a continued focus on fighting and solving crime, and a continued commitment to maintaining response times to emergency, life-threatening calls within satisfactory levels. The way we're going to accomplish this is through the executing of our hiring plan that will allow us to redeploy existing deputies that we have in detentions, existing badge-wearing, gun-toting deputies that we have in detentions, and redeploy them out into the field. Our staffing plan will allow us to recover 97 of the 224 deputies that I have lost from patrol alone since 2009. Second point is that this budget will allow for a continued commitment to reducing overtime. As I said, by executing our staffing plan that will allow us to provide for new part-time detention officers and clerical staff. Hiring these detention officers is what will enable us to redeploy the deputies that work in detentions. This will allow us to reduce our cost of operations in the detention system, as I started to do in 2009. The hiring and redeployment will be synchronized so as not to add any new overtime demands on the budget. Now, I want to emphasize that this budget will help us replace some of the staff that we have lost over the last 3 years, so that we can hold the line on a decay on public safety. The staff I need to replace, as I mentioned, are patrol deputies that fight crime and solve crime and prevent crime out in the neighborhoods. It is the investigator with the unique intestinal fortitude that it takes to investigate sexual assaults and abuses of small children in Harris County. It is the crime scene investigator that we need with his or her special skills and training to collect the necessary evidence to put dangerous thugs behind bars for many years. This is what this budget will provide for, so long as we're allowed to manage our own budget, as I've proven we can do. The budget is over 2 inches thick. There's a lot of details in it. So I want my staff to go over a few of the high points that will help you understand how we're going to make this budget work. Mr. Dice?
Yeah, I'm going to start.